Well, this is the scene here in Queen Street at the top of the parade, starting to make its move in on Aotea Square. And if they were 10 or 15 deep back down the middle of Queen Street, I can tell you they're 40 and 50 deep all the way down Queen Street, from the Aotea Square right down to the waterfront. It is just a seething, massive, tumultuous sea of people. And if there's 300,000 or 400,000 people here, I wouldn't be surprised. Certainly there must be considerably more than 200,000. And quite apart from the colour and the sight here is the deafening noise, even from where we're broadcasting, 20 stories above the street level here on the edge of Aotea Centre. The noise is such that we just can't hear ourselves speak. And it's quite remarkable to think that this massive expression of people here is all because of a sporting event. And I guess, Greg, the debate which has raged over the last couple of weeks about, is this the greatest sporting triumph of all by New Zealand? And when you look down on Queen Street at the moment, it's hard to imagine. I just can't conceive of any other sporting triumph in New Zealand that could trigger this sort of response. Many of these people who have been here at Aotea Centre since 8 o'clock this morning, thousands of people just came straight to the square.
Those great explosions of confetti, just extraordinary. That was coming from towards the, in fact, there we are, there's another whole lot of them coming down from the buildings opposite Civic Theatre. Can you see it? They seem to be being fired from something, Brendan.
Well, it's very hard to hear, I'm afraid, Angela. I mean, the noise here is extraordinary. I've never experienced anything like it, and maybe it's because we're so high above the crowd and the noise is just swamping us here. But
shot there of Simon Daubney, very much a key member of the sailing crew on board Black Magic. That's a scene in Queen Street, but this is going to be a party scene a little later on, if not already, Angela.
Well, this is the Viaduct Basin, where there is going to be a big party later on this evening. As you were saying before, Greg, this is where it'll all be happening when the next challenge takes place, although it's going to look a bit flasher than that, and we hope Tank Farm has been removed. Just some of the boats, as one of the commentators was saying, there's more sailboats in New Zealand than cars, and there's the yacht squadron where the Cup will reside.
Yes, and there'll be a big welcome home party for the crew this afternoon, but it is members only because they're not going to be able to fit everyone into that building down there on the Auckland waterfront, the Royal New Zealand Yacht Squadron.
Just some of the highlights of the day so far. Now, One Network News special coverage of the Welcome Home Parade for Team New Zealand. We saw the start of it there. Now here they are just coming up to the town hall, and the crowd now is so dense that they seem to have slowed to less than a walk.
Well, obviously the crowd has followed on and behind, wanting to try and get into Aotea Square. Now, I did hear that they could probably expect about 20,000 people to fill Aotea Square, so where the other 300-odd thousand are going to go, who knows. Marvellous sight for New Zealand. It's Auckland's day in the sun today, of course, but tomorrow the team will be at Wellington and Christchurch and Dunedin as well.
The marquee outside the yacht squadron is obviously to take some of the extra people, but not all of this lot, I shouldn't think. It'll be interesting to see if the squadron does decide to tour it around as the San Diego Yacht Club did, because it was out of the San Diego Yacht Club some 400 odd times, so that people could see it. I mean, I think the fear here is that it'll be locked up for members only.
That's Laurie Davidson, one of the designers of Black Magic, also Doug Pedersen, and he's picked up a double because he was part of the design team that designed America Cube, that won the America's Cup for the San Diego Yacht Club, but he said, I've had enough of this and I'm heading down under. He came to New Zealand with open arms. He was welcomed with open arms, and he's pulled off the double. Aaron Henson there as well. We saw a lot of him driving the chase boat off the waters of San Diego. The big chap.
And very much the stars of the show. This is where the crowd is focusing. They're coming in behind. I think it's the same as they did with bring the cup off the plane. Peter Blake and Russell Coutts seem to be coming pretty well close to the end of the parade, and the crowd is just closing in behind them. The joy, I mean, the excitement of the people who just want to shake their hands. And the New Zealand flag. I did mention this morning that perhaps we should swap the Union Jack on the flag for a red sock.
Or maybe the America's Cup.
There you can see, looking back, that's going up to the top of Queen Street, and look at how far the crowd is extending. They are actually going to go up there into the bottom of Merrill Drive, so it's just about where the crowd finishes. You can see where they're going to be turning round into Merrill Drive and then going down into the Aotea Square. So it's going to take a bit of pushing through that, I would say.
The One World of Sport commentary team there: Peter Montgomery, Peter Lester, Jane Dent, Glenn Sowry, John Macbeth and Jan Shearer, as well as our production crew, have had such a wonderful time covering the America's Cup for the past 5 months or so.
Well, it's been a long slog for them, and it's great that they're actually in the parade. They've been as much a part of it, and they've certainly got the people of New Zealand behind the whole effort with the extraordinary effort that they've made.
They're at a standstill, so it's come to a little bit of a...
Well, in fact, you can see how far the crowd is extending. It's going up into Wakefield Street. It's going up into, well, that's the Aotea Square. That's already packed. I don't think it's going to take any more people. But down there, in amongst that amazing crowd somewhere, is Susan Wood. Hello, Susan.
Hello. Well, as you can see, I'm surrounded by a very excited group of school children. Calm down for a minute. What do you think? One at a time. Did you watch the yachting on TV? Yeah! Are you getting a day off school today for this? Yeah! Who's your hero on this? Coming up the street now, so you better turn around and look out. Not too far away. Thanks, kid.
Well, they were all wearing red. I'm sure Cantabrians are going to be absolutely thrilled with the fact that black and red have now seemed to become New Zealand's colours. I hope it bodes well for their rugby team in the coming season, Greg.
Well, we mentioned before that the One World of Sport commentary team is right in the thick of things, as they have been for the past 5 months or so. Let's go back down to the voice of New Zealand yachting. In fact, I think it's safe to say now the voice of world yachting, Peter Montgomery.
What a fantastic experience it was. We're right outside the town hall now.
Never thought I'd see Pete Montgomery at a loss for words, but I think he's coming back again.
If we tried to walk over the top of those people, we could all the way. Jane Dent, this is just unbelievable.
Have you ever seen anything like this, Pete?
No.
Nothing compares, does it?
Absolutely. There's been nothing like this in New Zealand's history in the way of a celebration. It's over a sporting event rather than, say, the end of World War II. But really, this is just a real jaw-dropper.
Have you ever seen anything so good humoured, too? I mean, often you get the silliness, but this is just fantastic. Everybody's here to have fun, have a great time. I'm just in awe.
They are, absolutely. Hey, now you just threw something. Where are you from? From Matamata. And what, you've come from the Waikato? Yeah. Think of the Americans. I love it. I love it. Where are you from? Cambridge. You come from Waikato. What do you think when you see Coutts and Blake? Cool. Cool. Where are you from?
Hobsonville.
Hobsonville. What do you think of the Americans? Well, from where were we? In the Waikato and Hobsonville. They're all over the place. Where are you from? I'm at a bar, Gisborne, New Zealand. Really? You've come up from Gisborne. Way to go! Well, look, it is just a sea of faces here. There is just an absolute mix of people of all shapes and...
And they're shouting, Peter's a legend. Peter's a legend.
Well, so's Jane Dent. Goodness gracious, this really is. It is just extraordinary.
Peter, what's it like travelling the length of Queen Street as a hero?
Well, Greg, I would say that this really, I've just been taken back. I expected a tremendous welcome, but a tremendous welcome, but really nothing like this. Peter Blake and Russell Coutts are just in front of us, and they're getting swamped and swamped further back down amongst the high-rise buildings in Queen Street. It was literally just raining down ticket tape and confetti. It was an extraordinary experience, something we may associate with New York. It was just fantastic. Where are you from, man?
Henderson.
Henderson. What do you think, Davidson? Where are you? Bayswater. Here's a lovely face. Where are you from?
Tara.
Tara, what do you think when you see Russell Coots and Peter Blake?
Cool.
Oh, well, they're loving it. It just goes on and on like that.
Peter, how difficult is it going to be for the crew members, all of the Team New Zealand people, to actually come back down to earth, to get on with a normal life now after all this?
Well, I think for a lot of them, really, this will really take their breath away. They know there has been a fantastic following and support here, but really, when they see this, there's been nothing like this in New Zealand's history. And I know that visitors who are following this, like French, Italian, American crews who are either with television or still photographers, they cannot believe it. And really, we can't as well. But for many of the top sailing crew, believe it or not, many of them are out of here within a couple of weeks to sail in top regattas in Europe. But I'm sure this will make a mark on them, on their great achievement and what it is doing for our country. As Jane Dent said, look, they're all happy faces. There's no nastiness. People are just having fun. Glenn Sowry.
Incredible. Just when you think you can't fit more people into Queen Street, suddenly there's more. It's just incredible. They're falling out of buildings, cramming up against the trucks, and Peter Blake and Russell Coots in front of us. I think they're not going to be able to use their hands for a few weeks after this. They're that busy shaking everyone's hands.
All right, here's someone with a flag. Let's have the last one. All right. Okay. Right. Well, absolute mayhem. But it's just been absolutely an experience like nothing else that I've ever had. It is just a privilege and honour to be here. Let's go to Susan Wood.
Joining me now, we have a Maori warden. John, you've come from... Where have you come from today?
Tabakura.
What do you think?
Oh, I think it's all right.
Just all right? You're not a sailing man?
No. Oh, no, because but I'm not a sailing man.
So why are you here today? You've got your uniform on, you're here to do a job?
My job is to protect the crowd, is to give the Auckland Sea Police a hand, and then that's what I'm here for.
You're the least enthusiastic person I've met all day.
But I've never been in trouble before, but I just kept out of trouble.
Well, here comes Peter Blake. You might want to take a look anyway. Thanks very much, John.
Well, Pete Montgomery is very properly there in the parade because he is a hero. I know he's being a bit retiring about that, but New Zealand Yachting owes a huge debt of gratitude to Pete Montgomery, the way he has... When he started doing yacht commentaries, it really wasn't even considered to be a sport in New Zealand. It was just something that people did as a bit of fun, and he has built it up really into what it is today, the recognition amongst the ordinary public and potential sponsors.
Well, Chris Salthouse and Tom Dodson, you've been at many regattas covered by Peter Montgomery, and I think it's fair to say he's certainly now the voice of world yachting almost.
Yeah, Peter was honoured as Yachtsman of the Year about 2 or 3 years ago, and everybody was wrapped with that.
I see our constable's polishing up the case. Oh, he's got a roll of toilet paper. Polishing up the case just before it turns into the formal reception at the AOT Square. It'll have to stay inside I guess that's reinforced plastic rather than...
Both of you are members of the Royal New Zealand Yacht Squadron. I do hope that they're going to open the doors occasionally and allow the public in to see the Cup.
Oh, I'm sure they will, Greg. They've made a place for it there where everyone can walk in and have a look at it. No, it's something to see. I've only seen it in real life once before, and it's really quite a remarkable cup.
Well, of course, the cup was extended. That used to be the bottom of it, and now this extra bit was added to take all the engraving as the years went by. And the early photos that you see of it, of course, it doesn't have that taller base on it.
This is One Network News Special. We are with you live until 2 o'clock from the streets of downtown Auckland. The America's Cup is home where it belongs.